involved with Airbnbs, and that was good for a few years, guys. Great, amazing. Uh, and then the hammer came down with the taxes, and the hammer came down with the city of Hamilton deciding to wanting to ban Airbnbs for people that are not actually living there, and that's actually coming into play in January. They keep pushing it back. Um, so I came across a company that offered a really unique thing, which was a rental guarantee program. Have you heard of that, Mark?
I've heard about it. There's a couple companies that I know that say they do it or whatever, but I haven't done like a deep dive onto what that all entails or what they like. Obviously, they're gonna qualify your tenant and guarantee you the rent, but I don't know what it costs or what the positive and negatives of how that system works.
So how it works essentially is they they it's like single key, yes. It's another company that I'm actually partnered with. It's called Tenant Cube. We're gonna go over the platform quickly. The beautiful thing about Tenant Cube is they have a platform, a built platform for you. Single key doesn't really offer that. I looked into both. Um, I partnered up with Tenant Cube where they offer this rental guarantee program, and they have a certain formula. They screen the tenant, and they run it by their formula. And if the tenant qualifies, then they offer you, the landlord, the rental guarantee program. The rental guarantee program is 5% of the rent every month that they charge, and they charge it up front. But what it entails is you're guaranteed your rent for up to $60,000. If the tenant stops paying, if there's damages up to $10,000, it covers, and it also covers about $1,500 per legal fee, which is really cool. Because think about it, like you're gonna put this on the if you're putting it on the market with an agent, you're probably paying first like 1 month's rent, right, to get a tenant. You're putting half of it to one side agent, half to the other agent, right? Um, but imagine this system that guarantees you your rent, and you're not concerned about, am I making the right decision? Am I not? Are they the right fit? Are they not? You kind of got three layers of protection essentially, because you got an agent finding you a tenant, you got the screening that the agent's going to do, and then you got the screening that Tenant Cube will do. So they have to go through so many channels in order to qualify. And once they do qualify, then they offer you this program, and it's a contract. Um, so I've done it before for my properties, and I'm currently enrolled in it. And knock on wood, have not had any issues with these tenants. Um, and it also has another add-on to that, which is it can collect the rent from you every month. It pulls the rent from their account. So I'd love to show you guys the system. Mark, do you have time for me to show you the system quickly?
Yeah, that's what I jumped on for. I mean, it's I think we're gonna try to do more of this from our end, just to show different stuff, whether it's product or software that we think is good. I know there's a bunch we can get, like we can get a bunch of these going. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you're already using, which is nice because you're already using it. You can kind of give us your take on it, positive, negative, and why you think it's great, and then if it helps one or two people, then that's what this is all about.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I think it's I did a lot of research into these programs before I jumped into uh, this one with TenneQ. I think they're a little bit further ahead with technology in comparison to the other ones. Now, I only know about single key, and I think it's front lobby. There was another one.
Yep.
Um, but in terms of technology, and I'm a tech guy, I love my tech stuff. In terms of technology, this is phenomenal because I'll show you guys, and then we'll go through it, and then if you have any questions, we'll go through it. So let me just share my screen here.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Manny. I'm a pretty big tech guy, so I think we're gonna have to measure techs. We're gonna have to measure megabits Okay, we're gonna have to measure the size of the hard drive.
Perfect.
You know what I'm saying?
Perfect. Well, if we're gonna measure the hard drive, then you know who's got you.
I heard you. I heard you got a micro USB, bro.
You're hearing the wrong things, man. So screen here. Okay, so okay.
Mark, you can just click on the person's like the icon that you want to look at. Kind of like just if you double tap his screen, it'll make it full screen. If you double tap my screen, then it'll make my screen full screen. My screen's getting
Can you
restreamed on YouTube.
can you see my screen, guys?
You had it up there and it's gone now.
Okay, let me
Reshare it. Yeah, Mark. So my screen, whatever I have on my thing, you can kind of ignore. I'm working on changing it, but it will be when we repost the videos, you'll see that whole overlay and all of the chat and back and forth kind of thing. Okay, sick. Let's hold on. Just let me add this.
so this is Cube, guys. We're gonna measure hard drives, guys. So you gotta be here for this. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I already got an account. All right, so we'll just log in. Let me see which way. Can you still see it, Mark?
Yeah, I got it up
Okay,
here.
perfect. So I'll log in. All right. So this is what the interface looks like. This is the dashboard, right? On the left-hand side, you can see dashboard, properties. I'll click on each one. Properties. So you can make your own listing here, kind of like an MLS listing for your rentals. You follow,
Yeah,
Mark?
yeah. I'm
So
just
I have a few here already made, and you can see which ones are vacant, 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 occupied, right?
so this
You
is
can
like
click on the
your.
details.
So this isn't. This is like what you've put in right to the system.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's you can list it, you could unlist it, you could edit it. So let's just click on edit just so you can see one of the ones that I have. So this is on Upper James, basement apartment. I didn't put the year. It's very detailed. You can put the year built, the full address. It's a house, 2 bedroom, size. It's vacant. What I want for rent, rent deposit, parking spots. You can click on amenities that you want, right? All this stuff. Um, Features, you can click the features if it's vinyl floors, which it is, freshly painted, you know, very descriptive. Utilities, who pays for what, you can see that the tenant pays electricity, I pay the heat, they pay the water, key deposit, there's none. Are we asking for renter's insurance? Yes. Does the property allow pets? No. Laundry, actually there is laundry. And then you can add more photos on this side, and then you can click save. So now that is listed. So if we go to the next section, which is listings, you can see it here. It's pretty cool, right? Now I can share that listing to someone by clicking share and copying the link and sending it to them. So what happens essentially is they get this. They get an application to apply for this rental. You following, Mark?
Yeah, I gotta hold on. I say it says you've got mail. Go back to that rental application because it didn't show up. It didn't load. It showed a blue screen.
Oh, this is
Okay,
just a
there you
pictorial. Sorry.
go. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that
Yeah.
before.
So I'll share the link and we'll go through doing this so you guys can see how good and thorough it is. Okay.
All right. See it.
So let's just go through these tabs on the side first, and then we'll go there. Okay.
Yep.
So once you share the link, okay, let's say this link, right? Let's just do it right now. I copy that link, right? And then I paste it here. This is what it looks like to someone that I sent it to. I don't know why the internet's being slow. So this is what it looks like. Obviously not the best photo I picked, but it has a little bit of description here. Inquire now, apply now. And it says mandatory credit check required. So apply now. So I want to apply for this unit, let's say. So you got to fill in this information, your first name, last name, email, phone number, short bio. So let's just quickly do it. You don't have to put the bio. I've agreed to the terms. Click continue. Then ask you your date of birth, driver's license, SIN number. They want a photo of the front and the back of your ID, your
So,
current address.
and this is like
Are you
built into.
following, Mark?
Yeah, is this built into the software, or do you got to like make each of these forms?
This is built in, my friend.
Okay. Okay. Very cool.
Reasons you're moving, landlord's phone number, previous address, your employment information, how long you've been there, employment letter, pay stubs. You just attach them here. Personal references, additional details. You live with people and you have dependents, other liabilities. Add documents here. And then when you click submit here, it goes to the next page. I can't do it because I have to fill this all in, which says that you have to purchase a credit report.
So
So you see it's
so it
already branded to
so
my
it's gonna
company.
so it's gonna
But
ask the tenant to pay for the credit report, or
you can do it two ways. You could get the tenant to pay or you could pay yourself.
okay,
So myself, I put it on the tenant because most of the time that's a good way of screening a tenant. Because if a tenant is a good tenant, they don't mind. That's my trick.
gotcha.
Like if a tenant is gonna complain about $20, um, which I don't mind reimbursing if they're a good tenant, um, but it's gonna be alarming and concerning about my rent if they're complaining about $20.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
So I can't show you further than that from here because we have to actually fill all this in, and it won't let you go further without filling it all in. But I'll show you what it looks like when someone fills it in. So the next tab over here is applications. So let's go to a tenant that I've already asked. Is it okay if I show your stuff? So I have a tenant here. I'm gonna just show you briefly what it looks like. So this is what we get back. So this is their personal portal. So we know there's two tenants. There's a tenant and the co-applicant.
Yeah.
That's her ID and everything. She's already got her credit report that she paid,
Yeah.
monthly income, the bio, all of her information's in here, her credit report's in here. So we can click on the credit report and
It'll pop
we
up.
could pop up, and it not only does it give you a credit report, it gives you financial results. If there's any liens against them, any debts, bankruptcies, collections, it's pretty good. It goes into pretty good detail.
That's awesome.
Then you could also, there is a section to buy and request identity verification. It's $7. Um, it's not required, you know. That just does a social media check and all the other stuff. You really need it? Not really. So going back to the application, so I currently have an application right now on one of my properties, like this one.
Yeah.
You can see in the corners, this one's onboarded. So she's already a tenant, onboarded, new. I have a new application, new, and I have a manual one, right? So declined application. So let's look at the new one, and I put it on the short list. So you could actually make a short list of people that you narrow down your search to. So let's click on details here. So this lady has pre-qualified for rent guarantee program. Have you seen this right here?
Yep.
So when I click on here, it'll tell me the quote of how much it costs. So right now she's on the short list. So if I click here and accept this tenant, then I can request insurance. Click this and it'll request insurance,
Yep.
request payment, create lease, convert to tenant. Like it's pretty good. Like it does pretty much everything that you need on that end. Any questions?
No. So you can do, so the first section is basically managing your property, right? The details of the property.
Dashboards, yeah. The
Yeah.
properties, yeah.
And then you have your applications. Well, you have your listings, which are, so what like the listings. Okay, so you just build out those things and you can share them around, right? The listings.
Yeah, so some properties, let's go back to the property section. So some properties are not uh, active, right? Like this one's not active anymore. This
Yeah.
one's not active anymore.
I see.
These ones are active. You can see in the corner vacant, 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 occupied,
Got it.
right?
Yep.
And then when you go to the listings, um, these are the ones that are live. And then applications, you can see the ones that have been onboarded, they're already tenants and they shows the address. And the ones that have been declined, onboarded, new, there's a few new. And then these are the actual tenants, right? So these are tenants. Like I'm still playing around with the system myself, but when you go to the accounting section, you could actually click off when they pay the rent.
I see. And does this
And
system?
then you also have an expense section up here. So
Yeah.
say I have an expense, let's say general, uh, I don't know, garbage bags.
No, that's amount. You got to put the amount first.
Oh, amount, sorry, amount. So let's say $100. No, let's say $40. Expense type. You have lots of options: accounting, fuel, donations, blah 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 blah. Right? Other. Um, pay. Um, builder's manner. So you can put the payee's name. You got to add a new payee. You got to make one. So I haven't made anything yet. Method of payment, and then you can upload the receipt here,
Yep.
and it saves it there. It's pretty cool. So it's got a lot of good things working for it. There is a section for maintenance, which is what I wanted to touch on with you. So this is the section that I think you'll really enjoy, Mark, because it says create task. So which property? What does it need? Let's say Lilac Side, name of contact. Um, because there's no tenant in there, I can't use that. So let's say West Fifth. So then it puts the tenants' names there, right?
Yep.
So you can pick Haley, for example, subject, fix, fridge. You can put a description, you can put a photo, you could choose a field agent. So if we have a field agent on our property management, we can add the field agent's name, due date, status, is it new, is it open, priority, high, low, right?
Yep.
Um,
You gotta put an email.
So it asks for every section to be filled out. This email has already been taken, so I gotta put a different email. So that task has been emailed to that person, and they know it's high priority and everything's there. Um, the contact information. I think I just got that email right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got that email. It shows there's a ticket. It's for Mark, and it says fix the fridge. Right. So that's pretty cool. The other section here I wanted to show you guys is the settings section. So there is a section that you could do rent collection, which I'm connected to, where it pulls the money from the tenant's account and puts it right in your account first of the month. So it's auto payment.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if you sign up for rent guarantee, you get this for free, which is awesome because I hate chasing tenants for rent and hearing excuses and whatever. In this situation, we got them both connected, and it was a condition for them to move forward. Like it's a condition that I have if you want to rent any of my properties.
No, man, that's
So
good.
that's one thing. That's one thing. The other thing is that I wanted to show you is this cool thing. So if we have a ticket somewhere, like I don't know, you remember earlier I was telling you if you have an issue
Yeah.
that needs to be corrected, we just make a code for it, a widget. I got to play around with it a little bit. You print it off, and then you could tape it on that issue, and somebody that works tradesman could come scan that and find out what the issue is.
Oh, I see.
Pretty cool, right? Like if it's a fix a fridge, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you
you
scan
have a
that code
you
and
can
it'll
print
take
this
you
off.
right to the ticket.
Exactly, exactly, and then they can take care of it. Once it's taken care of, the tradesman can say it's finished, then you get notification right away. So it's pretty cool in that regard. It has those few things. Um,
And
you could
who do they
make
use?
your own.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
So you're allowed you get your own like site.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own site, um, Tenant Cube website. It comes included with the platform. Um,
I see stuff like this. I think is truly valuable for like these owners that are just kind of getting started out, and maybe not even getting started out, but just to like professionalize yourself, your out facing product, right? And and then they take you more seriously versus if they think you only own one place or whatever, then they don't really know, right? Like when when you can tell who's like mom pop and they're like more willing to negotiate. Like I always try to tell people like to not outface as like Taco, right? I want to be 123 Property Management Inc. or whatever, right? Like you want to be a professionalized business. You don't want them to talk to the owner, even though you may be talking to the owner, but you want them to be talking to a business and not an owner at any moment.
exactly. So the other thing I wanted to touch on, Mark, while we got the preview of the website too. Um, this is the website. It's not like a high-end website, but it's an included website, right? For your rentals.
Yep.
So your tenants have this. Your tenant can go to maintenance and they can request maintenance through the website, which is pretty cool. You put their email, their phone number, the subject, the description, and a photo. And then you guys answer the basic math and submit.
Oh, that's good. Oh, and they can
And
attach
then they
photos
click
too.
on,
That's awesome.
sorry?
and they can attach a
Go
photo.
ahead.
They can attach a
Yeah,
photo.
attach a photo.
That's fucking cool.
And then they could allow access entry to the house, and they'll give you instructions. So it really has a lot, like the other thing I want to touch on is marketplace. So, you know, it has its own apps that you can add on. Like this is one of them. Um, if you're looking for service providers, it can help you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the other thing that I was going to show you guys is ad syndicate. So you can make an ad here. It's a premium feature. You can make a listing for $100, and it syndicates it through all the rental websites. And like you're gonna get a bunch of inquiries. So you don't essentially need to put it on Realtor, but I would put it on Realtor just for the extra screening involved, right? Because you don't want to do the screening yourself. Um, and we talked about work orders, right?
Yeah, with the QR code. Yeah.
So QR code. Let's look at the settings since we're in here. All the tabs. You can upload your photo, your name, all that stuff. That's great. Let's go back and users. I have a partnership with them, so I put all my whole team here. Um, I could make you an account also, Mark.
Yep.
Um, we could play around with it. Um, Billing and plans. So if you become if you do get rent guarantee, they give you this platform for free, which is
So
huge.
okay, so let's dive into this rent guarantee because that's the thing that really intrigues me. I mean, there's a lot of platforms like this. I think we can probably review a bunch of them, and like kind of compare them. This one's pretty robust. I would say it's got a lot of the great features. But the rent guarantee that I don't think carries across from everybody, like every platform. I think that's a massive thing.
So let's dive into that quickly. I got that one that qualified for rent guarantee. So let's look at the details, right? So right here you see rent guarantee program pre-qualified. Congratulations, the tenant is pre-qualified for rent guarantee. Get up to 60,000 in rent loss coverage. So let's get a quote. So this is what you get, and this is how much it costs. So you get the free property management software, which is what we're using.
Yeah.
$10,000 worth of damage protection for your property. Free rent collection for that unit, up to $60,000 per the lease, and up to $1,500 reimbursement of eviction legal fees.
That's good,
So
man.
I actually have a flyer that we've made for my property management company with all of the details, all these details, but fancier.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And it's 5%. So for example, guys, let's just say you got a $2,000 rental, right? And
Yeah,
you're
it's
getting
peanuts.
$2,000 a month.
It's fucking peanuts. It's like
You're
$100.
paying $100. But isn't $100 worth the peace of mind?
No, yeah, that's pretty good, man.
You know,
On a rental, especially when you're
and
when you're
you get the
pushing.
software. You can manage it yourself if you want to. You can have a property management team if you want to. You know, and you can just start scaling up. Like I think technology will help you scale up, right? Um, and platform like this just helps, right?
No, it does. It
So
helps. It helps streamline it, keep it all together and organized, right? So you're not jumping because that's kind of like the problem with some of this stuff is like you're kind of jumping from this program and then you got to go to this program to do the credit report and then you got to go to this website for this thing, right? It kind of like it's there can be a lot, right? So this kind of helps put it all together, even managing
so
some of the smaller reno type stuff, right?
yeah, and like the
But
other beautiful thing, say I accept this tenant here, there's a button here.
Yep.
If I click accept, all these other tabs become, all these other features become open. So this can create a lease for you too, guys. Now, it's a standard lease that you can edit. It's not personalized, obviously. And then it can also request payment, like the way that I'm getting it from my other tenants, which is directly from their account. And then you can also request insurance before they move in. And once all that's done, the last tab is convert to tenant, and then it brings them to this tab here, tenants. So they become your tenant,
That's amazing, man.
and these are all your tenants. Make sense?
No, it's good, dude. It's definitely
So
a game changing kind of product. If you're not using something like this, it's something I would recommend for people to be looking into, because it's going to help you kind of scale and grow and manage a lot more with a lot less headaches, right?
so they constantly coming up with new features. That's what I like about these guys. They're local too. They're out of St. Catharines. They're Canadian, and they constantly coming up with new features like updated the dashboard, partial rent payments tracking, um, rent collection delay, EFT. If there's a rent collection delay, they let you know. Um, Rent roll, new navigation bar. There's a lot more features that I haven't really used. Um, and if you want to put your ads, syndicate your ads to all the sites, it's $100 a month. We talked about that. They have a move-in checklist that they created. So there's a lot of features that they keep coming up with. Um, you can also export your accounting to Excel. So there's an accounting tab. Like it keeps track of all the stuff, your income and your expenses on all the properties. So it's pretty good. I enjoy it. I think it's good. You know, I think it. I'm not utilizing to its full capability yet, but I will be in the future.
And what does
Um,
something like this
so
run monthly for a person without it being the rent guarantee? Is it like
so
per
something like this,
is
I think it's not too bad. I think it's about $150 a month or $100 a month.
and is it
I
like
gotta double check that.
is it per tenant? Is it per, do you know?
No, it's per software. The software.
Oh,
So you
that's
get the software and all of its features, right? The only feature you don't get is oh, the only feature you don't get is the ad syndicate, right? So you syndicating your ad through, you got to pay extra for that.
yeah.
But but yeah, I think it's a game changer if you have thousands of units, right? Like it's for a small landlord, it works well too to organize them. But if you're trying to do your own property management or keep your own books in line, uh, what better than having everything on one platform, right? Um, if there's any maintenance, it's there. Any expenses, it's there. Income coming in, you know. Um, I think that it is game changing, you know.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really pretty powerful program for sure. I could see definitely a lot of people getting value out of it.
And that's the thing, and that's the other thing I wanted to touch on. You don't have to do it yourself. You can, you know, we are going to be offering property management in the future. We discussed that already, Mark, um, where we could take on the challenge of finding you the right fit, the right tenant. Um, you know, if there's any issues, we could also help you. If there's any maintenance issues, you know, um, it's not easy. Like I'm a small landlord, and sometimes I'm just like, wow, you know,
What?
it's
You
it can
mean
be a lot, right?
you mean it's not all
Um,
sunshine and rainbows? This is what you're telling
No,
me.
man, no, it's stressful, right? So like to have someone to take care of to screen your tenants, take care of your tenants for 5%, $100 a month on $2,000, have good tenants and have a rent guarantee, like it's a no-brainer, I think. Like if you were to offer me this and I was just a landlord and I wasn't a realtor and I wasn't part of the property management, I'd pay for it all day, all day. I just I know the pains of not getting paid on rent, and I know the pains of damages and the LTV,
No,
and
especially
it's
with
just
today's kind of like environment, right? You want to be doing as much as you can to protect yourself because it's it's getting only worse out there and not better currently.
yeah, yeah. And so far the people that we have running on it, we only have a few so far because it just was released to me like last summer, um, and I've been a little bit busy with this, obviously active realtors selling, um, but I have a leasing agent on my team. She loves leasing properties. That's she loves it, and I don't know why, but she loves it. She loves talking and dealing with tenants, and for me, it's like, hey, there you go. You can deal with all of them. That's fine. Um, and I introduced her to this platform, and she loves it. Like, because think about it, Mark. Like, if you put a property on marketplace and you get 200 inquiries, how can you get back to everybody? Just
Yeah.
send them the link. Send them the link. If they're interested to book an appointment, that's different. Also, send them a link for like a calendar to book an appointment, right? But if you send them the link, if they're interested in a property, let's say, I'll tell you, half of them are not going to fill out that link, so you already know you're not going to be dealing with tire kickers. And from those half, another half are not going to go forward with paying for the credit report. So you're getting rid of like 75% of the field of the tire kickers, and you're going to finally find a good tenant. So it's a
No,
win-win.
you definitely want that because it's too easy nowadays as well, right? For like, if it's so easy that tenants can easily fill out like hundreds of applications and apply everywhere all at once, you're not going to get the best tenant right out of it.
And that's the thing. Like this bypasses the sob stories. I'm from Hamilton. I'm from the Hammer, baby. We got stories. We got stories. I hear stories. My dog, my cat, my husband, my wife. You know, like if I had $1 for every story that I heard from a tenant, I'd be a millionaire.
Oh
I'm
man,
telling you, it's
stories are everywhere, man.
there's a
There's no
lot.
shortage. Ugh.
It's a lot, and you know what? It's getting better though. It's getting better in Hamilton. I'm comparing it to like 6, 7 years ago, where everybody had a story. Now it's like the the only real stories that I'm really iffy about now is the newcomers that are. There's a lot of newcomers, but they need a place to stay. They have to start somewhere. So I have offered rentals to Syrian refugees, and they are great. They just had a lot of kids. Um, and Indian students, I love Indian students.
Really?
I will rent to Indian students all day. I love Indian students. So
Yeah, you
just
know
a
what?
matter of
Students, I don't know if it needs to be Indian, but students in general that are out of country are usually really good.
yeah, they're paying an arm and a leg to be studying here too, right? So
Yeah, I think I
they're
did. I talk
not.
about it at the last. I don't know. One of the last lives I did. I was doing homework with my son, and he had to like do like research on like what it would cost to go to college, and kind of he's getting to that age, and he looked at the school cost, and it was like $5,000 for the regular program, international student, it was like 15 grand, triple the cost.
Yeah, they pay to come here. They pay to play. Um, and the lady that filled out an application for one of my rentals, she wants to pay 4 months in advance because she's international and like it is a bit of a risk for a landlord, but her credit is good and she's got money coming in internationally. Um, I would run the risk on international.
Yeah,
Local, I don't know.
I
You
think
know,
I mean there's as long as they have a good job and a good story, as long as the story is viable to what they're doing, right? Like there's different types of tenants and different types of rentals, right? Like there are some pretty shitty rentals that you could, you don't need a high qualifying tenant to be able to afford it, right? At the end of the day, it's an affordability issue, right? And if you don't have the
yeah,
right
yeah.
person with the right story that's gonna fit the affordability, right? If it's like, me, my brother, my cousin, and his girlfriend, and his fiance, and all of us are trying to move in together and pay the rent in order for all of us to qualify. Like, that's not sustainable, right? It's not.
2 dogs, two
Yeah, it's
cats,
not a
two
good look,
parrots,
Like,
a
what
squirrel.
if Jimmy breaks up with his girlfriend, or they have a kid, or right like that? How does that affect your life, right?
So
Versus,
it, it's interesting that you bring that up. I had two girls that were girlfriends. One of the girls wanted to move in. The other girl was her roommate,
mm-hmm.
and the one girl I knew her and when she was married, um, and now she goes the other way or whatever. Not my business, but um, I'm like, what happens if you guys split up? Like, who's gonna pay the rent? Because the one roommate can't afford it on their own.
Yeah, see,
So it's kind of like, you gotta, as a landlord, you gotta be really cautious. I think, Mark. That's why you see a lot of my units are vacant. I'm super cautious now. Uh, the LTV has hurt me, and I rather it be vacant than deal with the LTV. Um,
yeah, no,
I rather take my time and screen properly because every time that I've rushed to put a tenant in there because I needed the money, it's bit me in the ass. Like, and I've heard stories, and I'm like, you have sympathy, you have empathy, you want to give someone an opportunity, but sometimes it gets you.
it ain't easy, man, and it's always not the cheap quick buck, right? That's the thing, right? Like I built my entire business on not chasing that quick dollar. I'm chasing that good dollar. That dollar that's gonna keep coming
Yeah,
back.
that's why I think this platform would be a huge help for anyone starting out or anyone that's scaling up. Um, it's really super easy uh, for beginners and for anyone scaling up. Um, I think that with the technology that is available to us right now, the only way to stay organized is to use everything, and not like to your point, you can't have like 5 different apps for one thing because it's gonna get confusing.
It's
You
just
know,
so hard to like track and be like, this it's kind of what's been happening with smart tech, right? Like, you have smart lights, and then you have smart phones, and you have smart, like, freaking speakers and smart TVs, and sometimes they don't all work in unison, right? Like if you have an Apple TV, it doesn't like Google Home, right? Like it's a fucking pain in the ass.
yeah, it's I'll tell you my take on where I think rentals are going. I think we're gonna see a surge in room rentals next year. Um, Rooming houses are gonna become big. Affordability is an issue, and I think a lot more people are gonna be leaning towards room rentals. Um, I hear this from my leasing agent where I have beautiful units for rent, and they're like, "Well, we can rent a room from you," and I'm like, it's a little bit harder to get a roommate for someone, right? But now, because of affordability becoming an issue, I think people don't mind living together. And like, I don't know if you've seen that article about that girl that was renting out half of her bed in Toronto. it's,
No,
I was
which
like, hmm, that's kind of scary, you know. Um, we're at that point now where affordability is an issue, and people are thinking about renting out half of their bed. Um, I don't know. It's just I think the room rental is going to be big. Anybody that takes advantage of that puts like a little fridge, a little TV, a little desk. They can make good money. And the good thing about that for a landlord is if you have a room rental in a lodging house, let's say, um, it bypasses the landlord tenant bureau. So you don't have to go through the whole process of getting them out because it's shared accommodations. Yeah, there's a site called Movies where you can find that movies. So that's pretty cool. Like I think that's where it's leading to. Um, you know, Marky, there.
um,
I seen your Illuminati symbol. So I can't hear you.
roomies I've never heard of
Yeah,
that
but
site,
we
but yeah,
should definitely do something more with like we did a little bit here with this tutorial, but I think we should dive deeper into the whole um, reviewing programs that would work for us. Um, you know, this is one. There's a couple other ones that we can look into. Um, but the rent guarantee is huge. I can show you the contract that I signed with them and the payment they took. Um, for me, it's a no-brainer. If they qualify for rent guarantee, I don't have a problem with them being a tenant.
yeah,
Yeah, you know, because they screen them so thoroughly that it kind of takes the headache away from you as a landlord, right?
peace of mind, right? So that you can just get on with what's important.
Exactly, exactly. But I got to get going, Marky Mark.
All right, brother, man, appreciate you jumping on today, and
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
always, man,
And
always.
can't wait till we get our podcast up and going.
Yeah, and
It should
then
be a hoot.
there's we have a contest going on. We're giving away the free
Yeah.
ticket for the Raptors game.
Who's the front seat of that? Who's winning that contest so far? Is there like a
It's we're gonna
someone up?
well, we have it, so you got to sign up on the announcement channel, and then they can click on it to say they're participating, and then the app is just gonna randomly pick a winner using
Nice,
some of the tiers. So,
nice, nice.
and I think
Well,
and I think we should do more of these.
it's gonna be a great time. That I'm looking forward to that Friday. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. I got this, company lunch thing I got to go to tomorrow. And Fridays. It's this Friday, isn't it? It's coming
Yeah,
up.
it's this Friday at the it's at the Air Canada Center.
So the question is Mark gonna wear his taco
Have to.
hat? Air Canada Center is good. No, not Air Canada. Scotia Bank Center
Yeah,
is gonna
Scotia
see the
Bank Center.
taco hat.
It is. I hope I don't have any trouble getting in. I can't see it, but
Imagine they're like, you're not allowed in with
can't
that.
you can't wear that hat is too big. No, we should be good. And then they're going to be using our Grow networking coloring wristbands, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. There's gonna be a great crowd there. Um, it's
lost Manny. Manny's frozen. Okay, well, Manny, I'll. Oh, you're there. You're back. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff happening this weekend. I know we haven't been as busy. It's the Christmas rush, and we got a lot of stuff going on in the background. We are gonna be changing the way things look come January. But I'm excited. Can't wait for this podcast announcement that we're happening Friday. Are we doing this Friday? Did you get everything you guys needed?
Yeah, we're good for Friday. Well, we'll get what we need by Friday. Today's Tuesday. I'll figure it out. We'll get it all set up.
Yeah,
But
it's still up in the
yeah,
air.
no, it's gonna be live. It's gonna be what events is happening. Sorry, I've been working. So you can let Cindy know what's happening. Um, and we're gonna let everybody know probably live on Friday. I think we should go live Friday.
We
We'll
can.
go live on YouTube and we'll go live on Discord. Um, and just let everybody know what we're doing, where we're going.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wild one. I don't know if we should go live. We should take videos at least.
We will go live before
Shenanigans.
the shenanigans. Actually, we'll go live with the shenanigans. I'm sure everybody wants to see what the falafel and taco show was all about.
Yeah, it'll. Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be
But
fun. I'm
anyways,
not worried.
I'll
All
get
right,
going.
all right,
Have
man.
yourself a good night. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, Super Tip. Thank you, Mark, for
No
having me
problem.
on, and I hope it was a little bit insightful. We should do something later on, a little bit more detailed about the program, and maybe we could even have uh, the programmers on our show, and they can talk about it because who better than the programmers to tell us all the ins and outs, right?
Yeah, for sure. All right, Manny. Thanks a lot, buddy.
All right, buddy.
I'll
All
talk
right,
to you.
buddy. Take care. Take
Okay.
care, guys. Bye.
Goodbye.